Hey everybody, this is Ann from Ekaru, and we're really excited to have our guest speaker here today. We're going to be getting started in I have 12:14 on the clock right now. We're going to let a few more folks trickle in and then we'll get rolling.
Sounds good, Ann. And everyone, I'm Nancy from Ekaru, and I want to thank you all for joining us today. Really appreciate it. You always pick up the phone when I call you, and you're always happy to hear about a new webinar, so that's great. Today we have Frank Correa, our Northeast Channel Manager from LogMeIn, and today, as you know, he's going to be talking about the voice over IP phones. And we've had a great partnership with Frank for over 5 years now. So I'm really excited about that, and we're excited about today's presentation, Frank.
Perfect, and thank you as always for this opportunity. As you said, we've been partners for around 5 years, and I've done several of these events, either in-person lunch and learns or these remote webinars, and they've always been a great event. Ekaru, you do a great job at getting people involved and getting your customers engaged with these events, and I really enjoy doing them. So thank you very much. And again, my name is Frank Correa, and I'm a Senior Territory Channel Manager with LogMeIn. And today I'm going to talk about collaboration from both telephony and video conferencing perspective. And many companies find themselves in an anywhere, anyway, any device type of world, where over the past 18 months, it's been, difficult to transition in 24 hours to a remote workforce where many workers weren't allowed to go into their offices and work. And with some of the old antiquated technology in the marketplace, a lot of companies were in a tough situation. And over that time, we found that 4 out of 5 employees believe that the employee-employer relationship has fundamentally changed, throughout that time frame. 7 out of 10 employees, in some cases, will refuse a job if they don't have that flexible work environment today. And employees are demanding that type of environment because they find that they're better equipped to handle burnout. Some of them find themselves more productive. It gives them more time with their friends and family, and ultimately it just makes them happier. And I have an example of a company where they had a contact center agent that's been with the company for a long time, and they decided to move, out of the geography. And in many cases, that employee would have had to leave, and the company would have to find someone else to replace that person. But because of the type of products that we have available to you today, they were able to retain that employee. She worked remotely as if she was sitting in the office and working as usual. And there's a lot to be said for that. There's dollars that are saved. There's resources that are maintained. And that's kind of what we're addressing with the technology today. And it doesn't mean that every company falls into this, right? There are many companies where throughout the pandemic, employees had to be, in the office and on site, from a healthcare perspective, emergency response. There are a lot of manufacturing companies where employees need to be in the office, and the technology doesn't differentiate in that respect. And in both cases, it's very difficult for SMB companies to be able to support these types of environments. They're a distributed workforce with 24/7 needs. It's very difficult to support a remote workforce. There's products that need to be considered to maintain revenue and productivity. And workers, when they first hit the pandemic situation, it was very difficult for them to maintain that communication and collaboration that they're used to, right? There's thousands of devices, thousands of security risks. You as a company want to make sure that it's your employee accessing those applications that you share with your employee base. So, the go-to platform that we have to offer through Ekaru is making it easier, whether you're a remote workforce environment or whether you're still going into an office environment and need to address a lot of these applications. We provide a flexible software package since 2006. We've been in the market for over 15 years with nearly 1 million customers with over 12 million annual licenses. So we've been doing this for a long time. It's a trusted product for both the enterprise and the SMB. We have customers that are in the tens of thousands of seats, and we have customers that have a single seat. So regardless of the size of your company, the product meets those demands. And with reliability, that's second to none in the industry. We have a 99.99% uptime. It's actually 99.998 with 24/7 dedicated support. And you have an additional feather in your cap with your relationship with Ekaru, because they're that first line of support from both an onboarding perspective and a continuing technical support perspective. So you have the luxury of leveraging those relationships.
Yeah, and Tony's
And
onboarding today.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, Tony is a great technical advisor, and it's great that you have that resource. Absolutely.
I think everybody on
And
this call today has spoken with Tony or myself
Yeah.
about the phone.
Yeah.
Myself in the beginning, and then Tony throughout.
that's great. That's great. And I wanted to talk about a customer success story that through the entire pandemic has leveraged the go-to technology from a remote workforce and access platform. And as things somewhat normalized, if you want to call where we are today in a normal situation,
Yeah.
but their challenge was, they had inadequate technology, an on-premise solution, and it did not allow both their staff and their student body to communicate effectively. So GoToConnect provided them a solution that, regardless of where their staff was, regardless if their students were in a classroom environment or learning remotely, they were able to communicate effectively. And it's been a great relationship over the past 2+ years. There's over 5,000 licenses with Dartmouth. And again, a great solution that immediately allowed them to maintain their communication throughout the pandemic and as we move back into somewhat a normal environment. So the technology and the product that I'm going to talk about today is GoToConnect. I know that some of you on this webinar are already GoToConnect users, and there are some of you on this call that this may be the first time that you're hearing about GoToConnect. So I'll try to address this webinar so everyone on the call can understand what the platform consists of and maybe some new features and functionality for those existing users. But GoToConnect is a business telephone system in the cloud that also supports your video conferencing needs, your texting needs, your chat needs, your full communications and collaboration needs on a single affordable platform. It's an all-inclusive feature set. So as you look at, communicating from any device at any location, This product allows you to make and receive phone calls, receive your voice messages either via email with translation, unlimited e-fax, texting. We can understand where your coworkers are either on the phone, off the phone, so you can communicate accordingly. We have a ton of different integrations depending upon the business you're in. We play in multiple verticals, whether it's education, whether it's automotive, whether it's legal, retail. And it's not just saying we play in those verticals. We have integrations with specific CRMs that help you better leverage those verticals. And we have technical staff that understand the lingo, understand the vertical that can help you position this product to meet your needs. So the entire collaboration effort, we find that a lot of customers today are not using that desk phone that we're so used to having in a business environment. Many users are now using their computer to make and receive phone calls or their mobile app. So as I show you what that means to you specifically, we have a desktop application or a URL you can access that brings the GoToConnect application into play, where you can make and receive calls from that application, where you can chat from that application. We find in many healthcare environments, especially in the dental space, where they're using the chat to confirm appointments. Same thing in the automotive space. You can launch a GoToMeeting, and it's the only truly collaboration integrated platform in the marketplace where from the GoToConnect application, you can launch a GoToMeeting. All your meetings can be scheduled there. All your recordings can be stored there. You can share the video recording accordingly with transcription, where you can search on specific phrases. You can search on specific speakers. If you wanted to search on a specific phrase, like maybe LastPass, password management, where you wanted to better understand what the dialogue was on LastPass, just type in LastPass, and all of that dialogue is in front of you and available to you immediately. This is where users go in and configure their voicemail, their find me, follow me. So if they want to have multiple extensions answered when calls come in, or if they want to first have their desk phone extension dialed or answered, and then forward calls to their cell phone or maybe to a different office, just so it meets your needs depending upon where you are on any specific day. So this desktop application is critical for those users that may not want to access or have a desk phone. The mobile app is available in the same manner. Both the desktop app and the mobile app are available to customers at no additional cost. It's included with your seat license. And it's your company phone number, not your mobile phone number, your personal mobile phone number, that's the caller ID. So as you make your phone calls, it's your company phone number that's addressed as the caller ID. You can make calls. You can chat messages. You can actually launch your GoToMeeting, as you see here in the second pane. So from your mobile app, you can launch a GoToMeeting and have up to 150 participants, 25 video conferencing participants with the same screen share and recording features that you have if you were launching it from your desktop. If you're on the road and working remotely and you're chatting away and you're making calls and having video conferences, and then you either come back home or to your hotel room or into your office and launch the computer app, all of that history and all of those calls are all going to be there for you, just as they were on your cell phone.
Yeah. Frank,
So it's pretty neat.
I was just going to say, one of the features that we hear that folks like a lot is being able to get the the office caller ID when you're making outbound calls on the mobile app, which is really neat. And the other thing is if you're ever on a call and you have to leave, you can swap the calls over from, and I've used this in the past where you're on the regular phone, you can swap it over to the mobile app. So the person at the other end doesn't even hear, it just seamlessly goes to the other platform. I think that one's
Right.
really cool as well.
Yes.
Yep, it's call flip, right? So the call
Yeah.
flip feature, exactly as you described, Dan, right? So if you're in your office, you're on your desk phone, and you see that you're running late for an appointment, you can flip the call to your cell phone. It's just a star code, and away you go. You're on your cell phone. Same thing as if you're in your car, you come into your home office or your office in general, and you want to flip the call back to your desk phone. Again, it's just a star code from your mobile app, and it automatically transfers the call without dropping the call to your desk phone. So yeah, that's a great feature. Absolutely. Another feature that is really second to none in the industry, and we find customers love this, is our dial plan editor. And what this is how we program the call flow for every one of your phone numbers. So, calls can come in this example, we can check a schedule, and during open hours, you can have calls routed in a specific fashion. For example, thank you for calling. If you want to reach sales, dial 1. If you want to reach customer support, dial 2. Technical support, dial 3, and so on. And you can also, excuse me, route calls differently during your closed hours. And in that instance, maybe it goes to a different auto attendant. Thank you for calling. We are closed at this time. Dial 1 to leave a message. Dial 2 to reach the person on call. You can also have calls routed differently for holidays throughout a given year. And, in that instance, it may go, thank you for calling due to the holiday we're closed today. Dial 1 to leave a message, or dial 2 to reach a person on call. Excuse me. So this dial plan editor is visual. You can follow the call flow accordingly, and that's why people like it. And it's extremely simple to program. You just, grab the node and bring it in accordingly. One thing that's nice about all of this is Log Me In, along with Ekaru, will program this for you. It's not something you have to do yourself. It's part of the onboarding process, but it's extremely effective. You can have as many of these dial plans as you need. There's no cost for additional dial plans. And one thing nice about the GoToConnect platform, you get over 80 features at no additional cost. And I've highlighted a lot of the popular features here. Call recording is included at no additional cost. You can store recordings either with Amazon Web Services, or you can store them within the GoToConnect data center, where you can access them accordingly. You can set up custom schedules, again, based on your open and closed hours. I talked about the dial plan editor. Fax to email, you can have as many eFax users as necessary. Every user can have their own eFax. You can have as many corporate eFaxes as you'd like. Hot desking is a great feature where if you have multiple offices and maybe your employees traverse from one office to the next, they can go to any phone and take control of that phone as if it's their own. And as calls come in, it automatically routes to whatever phone they have logged into.
Yeah, that one's
From the
popular.
text, it is popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Ann. Yep, especially those companies with multiple offices. It works great. And you can have group texts. So if there's groups that you communicate with regularly, you can set up those group texts accordingly. Paging is included at no additional cost. We see that a lot in healthcare. We see that a lot in education. We see that a lot in automotive. Presence monitoring, again, it's great to see your coworkers and understand if they're on and off the phone and communicate accordingly. You get unlimited ring groups. So ring groups are a bunch of extensions that ring automatically all together. Shared line appearances. For those of you that are on an on-premise PBX, those legacy PBXs are familiar with shared line appearances, where a specific extension can share a number of extensions and manage those accordingly. You get unlimited auto attendance. A lot of our competitors charge per auto attendance, so you get unlimited auto attendance. Virtual fax I talked about. Voicemail to email with transcription, that's included. So you can have unlimited voicemail boxes. So even though there may be only, 10 users that you have, you can have as many corporate voicemail boxes as you'd like. I talked about call flip, being able to flip that call from your desk phone to your mobile phone to your desktop accordingly. Many of you use that call park feature. What's nice about the call park feature, it's just not a feature that you can use on your desk phone. You can also use it on the computer app, and you can also use it on your mobile app. So you can park those calls accordingly and let someone else know that, hey, there's a call in parking lot number 1, and you can pick it up accordingly. All of your E911 is included at no additional cost. You don't have to worry about paying that separately. Some of our competitors, it's an extra charge to manage your E911. So wherever your employees are registered with their phone, whether it's in their home office or you have multiple offices, that will all be designated and programmed and supported accordingly. Find me, follow me. So, as your calls are routed to your extension, they can be, also forwarded to your mobile phone, your home phone, multiple extensions based on how you want to be contacted. You can have unlimited call queues. There's no additional charge for call queues. International calling into 52 countries is part of it. So it's unlimited calling. US, Canada, Mexico, and 40 plus countries. And I'll show you a slide on that. And unlimited domestic usage. So if you look at the countries that we support, so calling into any one of these countries is free of charge. It's just like making a local call. So if you have international calling into these geographies, we can save you a lot of money. From a reliability perspective, second to none in the industry, 99.998 SLA. We have 7 data centers in the US alone, and that's huge because your phones register to multiple data centers. So if we were to have that catastrophic failure, your phones would route through a different data center. And we have other data centers in the UK, South America, and Australia, and we're building out this network on a regular basis. We talk about integration. We have tons of integrations with a lot of different CRMs. I listed a few here, but what we're able to do with these integrations is single sign-on, screen pop. So as callers come in, their information will automatically pop up on the screen, so you know who's calling and what their history with you would be. You can go in and log that actual call and document call notes. You can hover in different Outlook contact information and just hover over their name and click to call with dynamic call routing. So there's a lot to these integrations that we offer. And one of the most popular integrations that we're running into today is our integration with MS Teams. So there's 2 types of integrations we have with MS Teams. There's our MS Teams edition, where it's a native integration with MS Teams, where users of MS Teams can launch their video conferencing, can do their chat messaging, can screen share their applications, and from the MS Teams dialer, they can make and receive calls. And it's actually our GoToConnect platform on the back end. MS Team users don't even know it's GoToConnect, but the actual telephony piece of MS Teams is inadequate today. And that's why a lot of MS Teams users are using this MS Teams editions of GoToConnect to leverage our telephony feature and functionality, and more importantly, our reliability. And as I said, our reliability is second to none. So in this case, with the MS Teams edition, they're using all of the MS Teams feature functionality except for the telephony piece, and they're leveraging GoToConnect on the back end.
Yeah, and the
We
dialer
also,
is native in there, which is kind of neat. So
correct.
it's 100% integrated.
It is, yep. And we have a second option where it's an MS Teams connector. And how this differentiates is it's very similar as the MS Teams edition, where users of MS Teams can launch their MS Teams meetings and their screen sharing and their chat capabilities. And then they're also using GoToConnect on the back end for their telephony piece. But if something was to happen with MS Teams, they can leverage the GoToConnect meetings and SMS chat and even our contact center solutions. So it gives them a broader GoToConnect feature functionality with the Teams connector that they can leverage as well. So it's a full-fledged MS Teams license along with a full-fledged GoToConnect license, where the Teams edition, it's just the telephony features that they're leveraging. So if there's any interest on better understanding what we can offer from an MS Teams perspective, I would get with Ekaru, and we could demonstrate this 100% on an MS Teams platform on how it looks and feels, and what you need from an MS Teams perspective to support this capability. So pretty much in wrapping up is, why GoToConnect? Why would you think about considering GoToConnect for your business? And as I mentioned, there's a ton of different integrations depending upon which vertical you play in, whether, it's automotive, it's education, it's retail, it's healthcare. We have a lot of different integrations that can help manage your customers, even with MS Teams direct routing capabilities. As I mentioned, the reliability is second to none in the industry. 99.995. Like I said, we're up to 99.998 since this slide was created. We have some enhanced functionality as well. So if you're in need of a contact center solution where you need agents to log in and log out with analytics, with automatic callback, with automatic messaging, and the different types of omni-channel for faxing and chatting, we have that solution. You have, with your relationship with Ekaru, enterprise onboarding capabilities. So you leverage what we can offer through LMI, along with your relationship with Ekaru, is the best of both worlds. The platform is extremely to manage. All the applications, whether it's a meeting video conferencing environment, whether it's your telephony environment, whether you're an on-premise in-office user or whether you're a remote user, it's extremely easy to manage. And we build that value whether you're on-premise, hybrid, Microsoft telephony user, regardless. We're here to help you support your efforts and make it easy to transition from whatever platform you're on today. So from the next steps perspective, as I mentioned, onboarding is extremely easy. And what we need you to do is if you're an existing customer and you heard a specific feature or functionality, you want to better understand, reach out to Tony, and he can help you understand what those features may be. And if you're not yet a Go to Connect user, we'd love to have the opportunity to at least demonstrate, the platform so you can better understand how it may fit in your environment. And you can reach out to Nancy, and she can help get that set up for you and even provide you with a proposal and pricing so you can better understand what that consists of. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Nancy. I really thank you for your time and appreciate the opportunity to present to you today.
Great. Thank you so much, Frank. I remember 5 years ago when we first started working together, there were 3 things you told me that were really important about these phones: simplicity, reliability, and affordability. And now 5 years later, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Still the 3
Yep.
top features. I enjoyed hearing about also the features you talked about, because a lot of the people on the line wanted to learn about the new features. So if they want to call me to learn, even, more about it, please do so. One other thing I wanted to talk about was the editor plan. So important this time of year. I'm so sorry about that. I apologize about that. I want to mute, but I can't mute because I'm talking. The mailman's coming, that's all. I just wanted to let you know that with the editor plan this time of year, a lot of people have to make changes with the phone for blizzards and whiteout conditions, things like that. So it's 4 to 5 steps. Just call the office and we could walk you through that. It's very easy.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of changing the dial plan on that specific phone number to maybe you call it a snow day, and calls will route differently. Thank you for calling due to the weather. We're closed. Dial 1 to leave a message on our corporate voicemail box, or dial 2 to reach the person on call. And it's literally 2 steps. And
That's great.
And the next day, if you know the weather's going to be better and everyone's going to be back in the office and back to normal, you just go into that phone number and change that dial plan to point to your main dial plan. So when callers come in, they route accordingly as normal. So very easy to do. Customers can do it themselves. They can contact Ekaru, or they can contact LogMeIn support. You have unlimited access to LogMeIn support free of charge as long as you're a customer.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm always amazed by the things the system can do. So we've worked on some really interesting projects. A manufacturing client who had big speakers in the manufacturing area could actually tap the phone right into the PA system, which was kind of neat.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we did a like in terms of, we really want to get people thinking about their business needs, because we did a really neat one, Boston-based business that has people working all over the country supporting medical office billing. And they found that when they made phone calls, so they might have a person in Atlanta supporting somebody in California, Arizona, and when they made outbound calls with, say, an Atlanta area code, but they're calling California, people wouldn't pick up. They think it's a spam message. So they were able to set it up so people could do different outbound calls with different caller IDs depending on, what their work flow was for today. So I'm always impressed that I learned something new all the time. So yeah,
Absolutely.
we've been on the system for many years, and I'm always impressed that there's like the call queues. I think you briefly mentioned those. Those are typically a very expensive call center feature, and you can brand the messages, and there's so much you can do. So folks can really get creative, which I love about this.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And it's just a matter of a quick demo, even for existing customers that may be on the webinar. If there are some of these features that maybe you're not
Yeah.
taking advantage of today, we're more than happy to do a quick demo to show you some of the new technology and things that different customers are doing. So feel free to reach out. We'd love to have that opportunity
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Frank. And
Thank you, Frank.
yeah,
Great.
and folks,
Yeah,
reach out
always
to
a pleasure.
Nancy. Reach out to Nancy, reach out to Tony, and hope we want everybody to get the most they can out of the technology that you have. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Okay. Bye-bye. We're going to sign off.
Bye-bye.